Let's understand how to calculate QRS axis in the ECG. First, we will know what exactly is the meaning of QRS axis. Basically, QRS axis is the net depolarization direction of the ventricles. Net depolarization direction of ventricles. Meaning is कि suppose this is the frontal plane of ventricles. Frontal plane is the plane where the depolarization will be going from superior to inferior direction. So this is a vertical plane. This is left ventricle and here it is right ventricle. So the left ventricle is depolarizing in this direction from superior to inferior and towards the left side. This is a left ventricle depolarization, and the right ventricle depolarization is almost at the same time in this direction towards the right lower leg. So these are the two directions of the ventricle depolarization in a vertical plane. So we know that predominantly the depolarization direction will be towards the left ventricle side. So the net direction will be in this direction towards the left lower leg, the direction of depolarization. So how it is calculated? So for that you should know the basics of the vector lines of different leads which are placed in the frontal plane. So this is the diagram here. So this is the lead system, the limb lead system. As you can see, lead 1 is located at a 0 degree angle, and exactly perpendicular to lead 1 is AVF. Lead 2 is at 60 degree, lead 3 is at plus 120 degree. Like that, all these leads are placed at different angles, and our heart is like this. Here is the our heart located. So we all know that the depolarization direction will be towards the left ventricle side. So it will be roughly between 0 degree to 90 degree angle. This will be the depolarization direction of the ventricles normally. So basically the fundamental of calculating the axis is basically how it is calculated, the simplified way. It is the axis is calculated as the resultant QRS amplitude. It is a resultant QRS amplitude of two perpendicular leads. And just for convenience we take lead 1 and AVF. So lead 1 is this lead. It is at a 0 degree angle, and this is the negative or reference electrode for lead 1. This is a positive pole or exploring electrode of lead 1, and exactly perpendicular to lead 1 is AVF. This is located at plus 90 degree. This is the reference or negative pole of AVF. This is the positive pole or exploring electrode of AVF, and heart is here. This is the heart on this vector system, and this is left ventricle, this is right ventricle. So we all know that left ventricle is prominent, so the resultant vector will be in this quadrant, resultant vector. Now what you have to do in a simplified manner, you just look at the QRS amplitude of lead 1, take the net amplitude of QRS in lead 1, and then see the QRS amplitude of AVF and draw on the respective positive pole side or negative pole side. For example, if in lead 1 QRS is positive, draw it on this side. If in lead 1 QRS is negative, draw it on this side. Similarly, if AVF QRS is positive, draw on the positive side, that is on this side, and if AVF QRS is negative, plot it here. For example, let's take an example. Say lead 1 is showing QRS amplitude like this. This is a QRS amplitude of lead 1. So what you have to take? You have to take the net. For an example, say this is plus 12 millimeter of QRS, and there are two negative wave of minus 1 mm, minus 1 mm each. Q wave minus 1 mm, S wave minus 1 mm. So the net here will come out to be plus 10. Net amplitude of the QRS in lead 1, net amplitude. This is how you will calculate. Now what you do, you draw plus 10 mm on this side. This is plus 10 mm line on this side, and then look at the AVF QRS. So suppose for example AVF QRS is just R wave of plus 12 plus 10. So we take it as plus 10 only. So we draw plus 10 here, plus 10 mm line here. So the resultant QRS amplitude of two perpendicular leads. So this resultant will be mandatory in this quadrant, and in this direction mandatory. This is the net depolarization direction of the ventricle, and that is normal because left ventricle is on this side. So lead 1 should have a positive QRS, AVF should have a positive QRS. The resultant will come in this quadrant only, and this is a normal axis. So that means for a normal axis 1 and AVF should be both positive. And for physiological range, we take the normal axis as minus 30 to plus 110 degree, but most of the healthy individual will have the normal axis between 0 to plus 90. This is the quadrant of healthy individual. There can be some physiological variations, anatomical variation of the heart, so therefore we take minus 30 and plus 100 till 110. So this is how to calculate the axis accurately. Let's see what are the abnormalities of this axis. So the first abnormality will be number 1 abnormality, right axis deviation. Now come to the abnormalities of QRS axis. So right axis deviation. As the name suggests, right means right ventricle is more prominent. Say for example due to RVH, right ventricle hypertrophy. This is the meaning of a right axis deviation. So let's plot lead 1, negative, positive pole of lead 1, AVF. This is positive pole, negative pole. This is 0 degree, this is plus 90 degree. And first we make the anatomical diagram of right axis deviation. This is the anatomical diagram. Right ventricle is now more prominent than the left one. Right, this is more prominent now due to RVH. So what it will lead to? It will cause the net depolarization direction in this side, towards the right lower leg. So this is a net depolarization direction. So this is the resultant QRS. This should be the resultant QRS. So to get a resultant QRS in this direction, the combination of lead 1 QRS amplitude and AVF QRS amplitude. So it will be lead 1 should be plotted in this side, means lead 1 QRS should be negative. So lead 1 QRS should be negative like this, predominantly negative. So we plot it on here, and AVF QRS should be positive like here. AVF should be positive. So you can see mandatory the net depolarization will come in this direction only. Now the next abnormality is left axis deviation. So left axis deviation is left ventricle is prominent now, though it is more prominent than the right one, but it is more prominent due to LVH. So what happened? Lateral wall and posterior wall get hypertrophied because lateral wall and posterior wall are the left ventricle part. So if they become hypertrophied, they will shift the depolarization direction towards the left shoulder side. So first let's make the diagram. This is the diagram. Lead 1, AVF, and here is the negative pole, positive, negative, positive. So here is the heart. This part is hypertrophied. Look here, this part is hypertrophied, lateral wall and posterior wall. So what it will lead to, it will shift the net depolarization in this direction, net direction of depolarization. So to get the resultant QRS amplitude in this direction, lead 1 should have a positive QRS plotted here and AVF should have a negative QRS plotted here. So mandatory the resultant will be in this direction only. So to get a left axis deviation, lead 1 QRS should be positive like this and AVF QRS should be negative like this. So this is how to calculate the left axis deviation, and it will be negative angle. It will be a negative angle. Now the third problem is extreme axis deviation. So extreme axis is also known as indeterminate axis. So in dextrocardia, left ventricle is not only on the right side, but it is posteriorly placed also. So dextrocardia will cause the net depolarization towards the right shoulder. Towards the right shoulder, it will lead to, or maybe technician has placed a wrong lead placement. So this will produce the direction of the depolarization like this is the lead 1 minus plus plus minus AVF. So this is the direction of net depolarization for extreme axis towards the right shoulder side. So to get the axis in this direction, lead 1 should have a negative QRS, AVF also have a negative QRS. So both should be negative in lead 1 and AVF, like this will be the QRS complexes. So this is a net depolarization direction. This is known as a extreme axis deviation, and sometime in artificial pacemakers this can be the depolarization direction. Also, one more trick of calculating the axis is, if this is a important trick, if any lead shows QRS of net zero amplitude, if any lead shows a QRS net amplitude of 0, that is equiphasic. For example, any lead, say if I will take say AVF is showing QRS of amplitude like this, equiphasic, positive negative are equal. So this is net 0, this is net 0. This means this is AVF vector. So if any lead shows a QRS of net 0 amplitude, this means the depolarization is happening perpendicular to that lead. Net depolarization direction is perpendicular to that lead. Therefore, that vector line or ECG lead will show a net zero deflection. Other way around, if lead 1 shows this type of the complex, in the lead 1 the amplitude of QRS is net 0, it means depolarization is going perpendicular to lead 1. So this is a very simple method to calculate the axis. Now let's do some practice with this technique. So these are the ECGs given to you. So here, look at this ECG. So whenever ECG come for calculation of the axis, just draw the lead 1 here, negative pole, positive pole, AVF here, negative pole, positive pole. And why I have taken lead 1 and AVF? Because they are convenient. One is at 0 degree, other is at 90 degree axis. I can take lead 2 and AVL also, but that is oblique. So what you do, you just look at the QRS in lead 1. This is a predominantly positive QRS of lead 1, positive QRS. So I will plot it here on lead 1, positive QRS. And then I will look at the AVF QRS. AVF QRS, you can see, is a negative QRS, predominantly negative. So I will plot it on the negative side of AVF. So the resultant vector is left axis deviation in this example, left axis deviation. Now one more practice, let's do more ECGs. So look at this. Again, I will make the lead 1 like this and AVF like this. This is lead 1, this is AVF. Now negative pole, positive pole, negative pole, positive pole. So in this example, the lead 1 is positive. This is lead 1, positive QRS complex. So I will draw it here. AVF, you can see, is going negative. So negative QRS AVF. Again, this is left axis deviation. One more example of left axis deviation. So further more practice. So here is the one more ECG given to you. Same, draw the lead 1 and AVF like this, negative, positive, negative, positive. All right, so look at the lead 1. This is lead 1 QRS. You can see lead 1 QRS is negative, lead 1 QRS is negative. I will plot it here. And AVF QRS, this is AVF. Look at the QRS. QRS is positive. Positive means here. So this is right axis deviation. So just take the resultant amplitude and you will get the correct answer always. Further, this is the ECG given to you. So in this ECG, let's see, this is lead 1, AVF, negative, positive, negative, positive. So let's plot the lead 1 QRS. Lead 1 QRS is negative. 1 is negative, plotted here. AVF QRS is also negative. So this is plotted here. Resultant, extreme axis deviation. Now come to the next one. So this is the question to all of you. Determine the axis in this ECG. So options are 0 degree, plus 30 degree, plus 45 degree, or plus 90 degree. So I will wait for your answers in the comment section. So do write your answers in this comment section for this ECG. Further, if you have any other doubts, you can also put your doubts. Thank you.